Hi guys, it's Jennifer with One Crafty Sister coming to you for tonight's Monday Night Live. How are you on this Monday? As you tune in, like I do every week, I'm going to share this really quick with my group. But while I'm doing this, please tell me how your week has started today. I would love to know that your week started off awesome. That would be my preference. If I can get to where I'm trying to go here. All right, tell me. I need to hear good things on Monday. So I like to share motivational things on Mondays. And so in my VIP group today, I shared, why can I not find this? I shared a motivational quote today, and I just called it Every Day is Motivation Day, right? This new Facebook is throwing me for a loop. They have moved things around, and I'm telling you, I cannot find things the way that I used to. So I am trying to share this live video to my group, and I can't figure it out. So I have a big favor to ask. If anyone is part of the VI Peeps group, if you could share the video with the VI Peeps group, because I cannot find it. Hi ladies, thank you. So if you could share it, I would really appreciate it with the VI Peeps group. And then if you guys have any other crafty friends, feel free to share it on your timeline if you think they would enjoy that, okay? Oh, Joy spent the day at Magic Kingdom. That's awesome. And the weather was so good, right? Connie, you were at Disney too. Were you guys together, Connie and Joy? Charlene, you hate the new Facebook page? Yeah, this is the first time I haven't been able to figure out how to share it. Oh, Karen got all her son's wedding table favors done. She's been working on that. Charlene, though, says her week started out amazing. All right. So, awesome. So, like I said, if someone could please share this video to the One Crafty Sister VI Peeps group if you're a member of that group. And if you're not a member of the group, just share it with your friends so they can come tune in, okay? Tonight, this is the card that I made last week, and I really liked it, and I love the colors of this paper. So we're gonna take the colors from this paper and turn them into another card with a whole different suite. But before we get into that, I wanted to tell you a little bit about what this week's ordering special is, as well as some other things that are going on. Thank you, Karen, for sharing it. We have this week for the ordering special is when you order $35, you're going to get my 15 project tutorial PDF for free. And when you order 50 this week using our host code, you're going to get the supplies to make tonight's card plus a really cool product that I'm going to use on tonight's card. And it was the one thing I couldn't wait to share with you guys because it's the first real time I've used it. And you guys are going to so need this in your crafty collection. So need it. So if you don't, I'm going to tell you to take out a pencil or a pen now. When we get to it, I'm going to say, write this down right now. You're going to need it. But if you place a $50 order with me this week using this week's host code, you're going to get a pack of that item for free from me as a gift, as a thank you. So that is that. I'm also having an online workshop this Friday night together for my team. So there's a link in the video description that gives you access to that Facebook group where we are doing our CRAFTastics monthly Facebook workshop. It's a free workshop. Anyone can attend. And we are all part of that. So you'll see that it doesn't say One Crafty Sister on there. It says the CRAFTastics, and that's because that's my team's name, and this is a workshop that I'm doing for my team for them to invite their customers and friends to. So if you want to join that, I would love to have you as part of that. And I'll tell you a little bit more of that because I'm going to show you a card using the product that I love that I'm sharing with you tonight that I also use that product on. So let's flip the camera down and get started with some crafting because I know that's why you guys are all here. You don't want to hear me talk. You want to see me craft something. All right, so again, here is the card that I made last week with the beautiful autumn bundle and the gilded autumn designer series paper. We didn't use any of the gilded paper, but this paper with these colors, the early espresso, the Cajun craze, and just jade or coastal cabana, I interpret this as just jade, and I think it is. I didn't even check, but you'll see. And so this is the card that I'm going to make for you tonight. So you can see the similar colors, and yeah, I would say that's just jade. So this card features our In Good Taste Designer Series paper. We're going to be using the Love of Leaves bundle, okay? And we're going to be using one of those leaf dies. I've got that right here. And we're going to use these items to make the card, and then also the Crafty 3D embossing folder, okay? So those are the three main things. I'm going to use 2 ink colors, Early Espresso and Cajun Craze. And then I also needed our Banners Pick-a-Punch because I love this, and you'll see me use this on lots of cards. You're also going to need some champagne rhinestones for this. Wait till you see what I use that for, and some linen thread. Okay, this is our handy dandy linen thread. Can you look at this card and pick out what I used the heart punch on? Because I refused to cut out 5 little die cut circles for this. I refused. And so I just playing around, I'm like, how could I create this? And I started looking for die cuts, and then I was like, wait, the butt of the heart works out perfectly, right? So I used the butt of the heart to cut out pieces of the designer series paper to create the little scallop border. So that's just a little trick and another way that you can use your heart punch that I've never used that way, and I was so excited when I did that the other day. Do you ever do something and you're like dancing around in your craft room because you can't believe that you just did that? Because you're like, am I the only one that ever thought of this? I'm sure I'm not. However, I wondered for a minute if I was. Okay, let's move some things out of the way and get our supplies out for our card. I've got an Early Espresso card base here, and let me just burnish this. This is an 8.5 by 5.5 scored at 4 1/4 card base. I've also got a piece of this In Good Taste Designer Series paper, and I've been wanting to use this as a big piece because, first of all, it just started to feel like fall a little tiny bit here in Gainesville, and it made me so happy this weekend. We were not in town, but we came home on Sunday to this beautiful weather. And then this morning I walked out of my house and it was so cool. And I'm like, fall is whispering to me that it's on its way. And this designer series paper from the In Good Taste is a cozy blanket. And so that's why I wanted to use it. If you guys do not have the In Good Taste Designer Series paper yet, It is a mega pack. You actually get 24 sheets of designer double-sided designer series paper with all these designs, and they coordinate with so many things. Plus there's so many, they're all neutrals, so they can go with so many projects. And I'm finding that I'm adding them and using them in way more projects than I even thought I would. So this is, I didn't think that they could replace our wood DSP with something that's better, but I'm kind of really digging this In Good Taste Designer Series paper. So a good thing to have as a staple in your craft room right now. So I've got a piece of that is 4 by 5 1/4, and I'm going to go ahead and just adhere this to my card base with some Stamp and Seal, just right down with a little 1/8 of an inch border on each side. The next thing that I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to deal with some big shot things. Oh, did I just say big shot? I did. With some cut and emboss things. There's a delay, so I didn't even get to hear you guys correct me. So I'm glad that I could correct myself before you had time to correct me. We are going to emboss this, but I also, if you see, this is a banner, and I need to trim it because it's not exactly like any punch that we have. So I have a handy piece of chipboard. This is one of our pieces of cardboard chipboard that comes with our foil cardstock. And I use this for bigger pieces when I want to create a banner. And so if you can see here, this is 2.5 inches wide of a piece of cardstock, and I just put a little mark there at 1 1/4, which is halfway, just as a guide. So you can also, so I'm just going to line it up, and you can see that I can use this kind of to guide for the middle, but I can also see by looking at how far my pieces are from side to side. So I'm going to just use this and trace a little banner end so that I can trim it out with my snips. So, you know, sometimes we don't always have exactly the thing that we want, but we have all the tools in our craft room to make exactly what we want, right? So I'm making use of all my supplies to get me a little banner piece that I like. That's the shape that I want. I think I'm a little roundy here. All right. So the next thing I'm going to do is I need to emboss it with the Crafty 3D embossing folder. So let me pull my pretty cut and emboss up here for you guys to see. And if I don't get the layers right the first time, I'm still trying to get used to it. So I think, and since some of my folders are the old folders, I sometimes get confused over which one gets which plate. But I think that this will be right. Let me look at this. Turn my paper over. All right, so I'm putting my cardstock in my Crafty 3D embossing folder. I've got the base for the cut and emboss. I'm going to put my folder down, and then I have the 3D embossing plate. So I'm going to add that and pull this through and hope, oh, yeah, that's the right fit. I could tell as it went through that it was the right fit and the right one. And so here is that lovely script. However, I did it the wrong direction because my script needs to go that way. We're going to try something. Let's see if this works. I'm going to try to do it again. And if it doesn't work, we'll figure it out. I had my cardstock in the wrong direction. So we're going to see what happens. If I put it through, is it enough pressure to re-emboss? And the answer is, it's good enough for me. Yes, it was enough. So you can still see a little bit of the texture of the first time, but not enough to tell that there's upside down words. So if you want to give your pieces a little extra texture, just emboss your cardstock in the wrong direction first. That's what you can do. So I've got that piece ready, and we need to add our little scallop heart pieces. So I have one that I need to trim a little, and the way that I adhered these is I took some seal and just added it to that base, the bottom of that. And I started on one side and I'm like, okay, I want it about there, and I just stuck it down. And then I lined up the second one and tried to make it look like a continuous scallop. And then I'm adding the last one. Oops, let's get this in the right direction. I had to think a little bit. So there I have the scallop border on there. Now you might have to trim. I have a little tiny piece here sticking out. We'll just trim that off to get it out of the way. And then we're going to add this to our card base. Now I want this to go all the way to the edge of my cardstock here. So I'm going over the edge of my designer series paper. To right about there. Okay, so now that is on our card base. And now we're going to do some stamping, and then I'm going to pull out that product that I told you that you're going to need to have and write down to have. But first, we're going to stamp our sentiment with some early espresso ink. And this one says, if you can see, I'm so glad you're in my life. I'll pull out my little foam mat, my piercing mat, to stamp this. I'm going to stamp this right in the center. So there's that. And I used the Banner's Pick-a-Punch to punch those ends. So I just slid it all the way in and punched, whoops, each side. This is a 3/4 inch strip, so it fits in the second little channel there. So you can see my sentiment there. And this is a 1/2 inch strip of foil, copper foil. Actually think it's a little more than a 1/2 inch. So it doesn't quite fit exactly flush in that little channel, so I'm going to kind of look at it to try to get it. See, that's what happens when it's not quite straight. You get a little crooked guy, but that's okay because it's handmade. And it's okay to not be perfect. So now I have both of our little banner pieces, and that copper just sticks out a little tiny bit. I'm going to add that on some dimensionals to our card base. So who else totally loved the cooler weather we had in Florida this weekend? For those of you that are in Florida, were you not like totally enjoying it so much and wanting it to stay forever and ever? Oh, actually, this is not on dimensionals. This is. We were down in Punta Gorda this weekend riding our bikes, and it was still a little warm down there. Gotta say, we did do our fair share of sweating, but by the time we stopped in St. Pete on the way home, and we could already tell a difference. Oh, Michelle says she got to open all her windows. Yeah, isn't that lovely? We have our porch open tonight because the cat wanted to go out on the porch. So we're like, we know it's cooler because he's a black cat and he does not like the heat. So he usually doesn't want to go out in the hottest of the weather, but he wanted to go out tonight. Okay, we're going to do this leaf, but let me show you something. Can you see the thickness of this leaf? It's like popped up like mega on this card, which makes it a really solid leaf on your card and just looks really cool because it's completely popped up. So get out your pencil that I told you at the beginning or your pen, and this is what you're going to write. Jennifer told me that I have to buy item number 152815. 152815. This is the foam adhesive sheets. So as you can see here by my little leftover piece, this has the entire backing is cut with the leaf using the foam adhesive sheet, and it makes such a cool way. Yes, 152815. 152815. Yep. So write that, place that on your order, or if you place a $50 order with me this week, I'm going to send you a pack of these for free. You get 6 sheets, so 6, and these are, what are these? 4.5 square, I think. Yeah, 4.5 square sheets, and you get 6 of them. No, they are not square. 4.5 by 4.25. But you will be able to cut lots of things out with those. And I absolutely love them. So what we're going to do tonight, let me make sure, I'm pretty sure I have enough to cut out my leaf, is I'm going to lay my leaf die on here just to make sure that I have enough. And I do. I'm going to kind of draw a line on here to help me. I don't want to have too little, but I don't want to waste too much either because I want to get all I can out of this piece. So I'm going to trim this out. I've got this piece, and I am going to tear one side of the backing off, and I'm going to adhere it to my cardstock. Okay, so it's on my cardstock now, and I got to make sure I put it in the right orientation because I can't quite see. Can't quite see. Hold on. I need it to go That's the way I need it to go. Okay. Yep, that should be good. So we're going to cut this out on the cut and emboss. And we're going to do all the things at once. Just you wait. All right, let's bring this back up here. Whoops, touched my camera stand. We're going to have the base plate, the shim, and I'm going to try the magnetic base and see. Oh, I got to look again. Which way? Which way did I say? I said that way. Watch, if I cut this out and it's not right, I'm going to be really irritated. I think that's good. I think that's good. Okay. So this is the new magnetic plate. I will say that it probably isn't the best option when you have the foam underneath here, but I'm going to leave it on and just see what happens. So I've got the two pieces lined up. The one in the middle is actually going to cut those little stitched lines on the leaf. It would help if I had it or I could reach the handle. Okay. Let me line that up. When I cut this on the magnetic sheet alone, it was perfect. But I did it initially in two pieces. So I'm just going to use a piece of washi tape. I always keep some washi tape handy for things like this to keep things in place. So we're going to go ahead and run this through. And as you can see on this side, you can see that it cut through to the liner on the back of the foam sheet. And you can also see that I lined it up perfectly, so I won't be angry at myself for cutting it wrong. So let's take this apart. Oh, how pretty. So I think I'm just going to do this. All right. So now what you have is a big sticky leaf. And you can see that even the little stitchings cut all the way through to the back. So now I want to show you the difference so you can see, because we learned together, right? So on this one, I actually cut the leaf first and then I cut the adhesive foam sheet and I stuck them together. So you can see what that looks like. This one, cutting them all together, does give another little layer of embossed texture around the edge. I don't think one is worse or better than the other. It's just a little bit different of a look. So it's a little more embossed around the edges. So we are going to drop that down on our card front. Like that. It's nice and solid. Like, you can't get over how just nice and solid it makes a big die cut image like that. I'm going to tie a little double bow with my linen thread. Okay. That should work. It's getting super curly down at the bottom of my roll. I'm going to add that with a glue dot, a mini glue dot. can be in place there. I'll trim this one. There we go. I love when it's curly like that though, it's so cute. And on the front, we're going to finish it off with some of those champagne rhinestones. So I'm going to grab my take your pick tool, pick up one of these big ones, and just drop them. Let's see here. All right, so there are some sparkles. And so for the front of the card, we are done with that part. I want to do the inside of the card with you guys to show you a couple more stamps and things. So there's the outside of the card. On the inside, I'm going to take a piece of Very Vanilla. I'm going to pull that foam mat over here again. And we are going to pull out our Cajun Craze. We're going to use both inks. But I wanted to see how the leaf looks different than cutting out those stamped images. Now, one thing you might have noticed was my die was in two pieces, because not only can you cut out these solid leaves with the stitched parts, but you can also cut out the stamped leaf image. So you have lots of variety with this bundle. And this stamp, as you can see looking at the images, it's got some textury detail to it. Now I'm just using the same shape that's on the outside. So I stamped the leaf there. Looks like something that fell off a tree up north somewhere. And then, it'll get a little lighter as it dries. It's a little dark right now. And then we're going to use this sentiment that says, your friendship is something I know I can count on. And let's see. I'm going to choose to put it down here at the bottom. You don't always have to put your sentiments in the center. You can put them wherever you want, because it's your handmade card. Okay. Make sure that's dry. Want to add this to the inside of our card. All right. So there we have that card. I'm so glad you're in my life. Your friendship is something I know I can count on. What do you guys think? I love the color combination. I can't decide what is my favorite thing about this card, as far as like a technique or something new. If it's the scallops made from the heart punch, for anyone that tuned in late. And I meant to tell you that if you're watching the replay, let me know by just typing replay, and I will definitely come back and answer any questions or comments that you might have. But I love the scallops, and then I'm just obsessed with these foam adhesive sheets. They are really the coolest thing. So let me show you really quick a card that I made. We do in our team, the CRAFTastics, we've been doing some creative challenges each week. And last week the challenge was to make a card that was a W fold card. So if anyone's seen them, usually they're like a card like this that opens like this. and it has like this W paper in between them. I wanted to do something a little different, but I wanted to show you this because I actually used those foam adhesive strips to cut out these words and add them to the front of this card. And this is the bundle that we are using for our CRAFTastics workshop this Friday that's linked in the video comments. So make sure you join and come see more projects made with the Nothing's Better Than bundle. But so I used that there, and then I did, instead of doing the W this way, I let the W go up and down. So love you more than chocolate, cookies, and cocktails. So I've got some chocolate, cookies, and cocktails. Everything has a little bit of Wink Stella on it where it needs it. And so that's another fun way that you can use those adhesive foam sheets, is for your letters or your words sentiments, the die cut sentiments. So this one is all kinds of loaded up with 3 layers, and then a 3D on the inside. And then just another fun tip, I don't know if you guys can tell on here, but this is some of the Perfect Plaid Designer Series paper, and it's run through an embossing folder. So, you know, you don't always have to just emboss cardstock like we did tonight on the banner here, but you can emboss your Designer Series paper and have it look even totally different than what it did originally. So I just thought that gave a fun technique, and I've got a little bit more of it in here. So I hope you guys enjoyed all this fun creativity here tonight. Don't forget to share Monday night every video with your friends so they can join us. And if you guys would like to join us for this Friday night at 7 p.m., sorry, we'll be having our CRAFTastics workshop featuring the Nothing Better Than bundle. So we hope that you can join us. I will post a link. I'll update the link in the video that has all the supplies I used on tonight's card. Tried to get it done before the video, but I was having some technical difficulties. And so I'm going to go do that now, and I'll update the post so that way you can see all the supplies that I use. So if there's something that you need for your crafty stash to make them, then I can help you get those. Or if you're a demonstrator, you need to put them on your next order. So thank you so much, guys, for joining me for another Monday night of crafting, and I look forward to seeing you guys soon. Have a great night. Bye.